Sports.
We are the fourth. We are Wisconsin.
No balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball, base hit. Here comes Weeks. Ball game's over. Mark Reynolds, walk-off single, and the Brewers win it 6-5.
Well, amazing stuff. This is an amazing ball club. How about these guys? Something special about this group.
There is something a little special about this group as the Milwaukee Brewers continue to win despite the injuries. They were able to win in dramatic fashion on Sunday, take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, and some good news tonight as Ryan Braun is off the disabled list and back in the starting lineup. Good evening from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minert will be checking in with us as well throughout the game. That is good news. A sigh of relief, I think, across the Brewer fan base, not to mention the clubhouse. Ryan Braun back in the fold tonight.
Yeah, good news, bad news. Ramirez on the DL, but what a guy returning for this Milwaukee Brewers ball club. He spent the minimum time on the DL. Ryan Braun back. He's always done well against the Pirates, and even when Ryan doesn't get hits, he has an impact on that starting lineup. When he's in the lineup, everybody else gets pitched a little bit differently, so great to have him back. Ilian Herrera called up, the super utility player. Caleb Gindel sent down. So it's going to be interesting to see how Ron Renicky uses Herrera. He's a guy that can play all over the place, but Ryan Braun is the big story. He's back.
All right, and the homestand continues. Brewers coming off the good weekend against the Yankees. Craig and Augie will be back to take a closer look at tonight's pitching matchup. Garrett Cole for the Pirates and Marco Estrada for the Brewers. We'll continue on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
moments away from first pitcher's Carlos Gomez. The suspension has not been handed down just yet, so he is in the lineup. Our starting pitchers, if you go back to that brawl back on April 20th, both Estrada and Cole were the starting pitchers in those games, and both pitched very well. Craig and Augie back with you on the broadcast here. We're focusing on pitching. Marco Estrada has given up some home runs as of late. What does he have to do tonight against the Pirates to stay in control?
Well, it all starts with Marco Estrada. You saw it goes with command of that fastball. When he can command that fastball on the inside, outside part of the plate, up and down, he is very good. He has to use effective use of that breaking ball. That all leads to his best pitch, and that's that change of pitch. Change of pace, that change up, and it keeps the hitters honest. But mainly, Marco has to get ahead. When he gets ahead, he dictates the tempo of the game. And when he can dictate the tempo of the game, it spells success. All about Garrett Cole. It's all about there's no speed limit. This is a guy who's got a 95, 96 plus fastball. He's going to go right after you. Break a ball. It's a work in progress, but it all comes out. He has to locate that fastball, and the Brewers have to be ready for it.
Cole versus Estrada, the Pirates and the Brewers. The Brewers have already won 6 of 7 so far in the season series against their division rival. One reason, they ride the top of the division.
As the Brewers and Pittsburgh Pirates open a 3-game series as the Brewers hit the home stretch of this current home stand, coming off of taking 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. Glenn Hurdle, the reigning National League Manager of the Year, led his team to the postseason after a 2 decades drought. Got him into the postseason a year ago. As his team 7.5 behind the Brewers heading into tonight's game. Your batting order for the Pirates brought to you by Associated Bank. Josh Harrison, Neil Walker, and MVP Andrew McCutcheon at the top. Alvarez, Tabata, and Ike Davis in the middle. Jordy Mercer, Chris Stewart, and Garrett Cole rounding out the batting order for the Pirates against the Brewers. Marco Estrada.
Yeah, Marco loves facing the Pittsburgh Pirates. 5-0 and a 2.01 earned run average in 12 games, 9 of them starts. He's got 2 consecutive no decisions. Last one came right here against the Diamondbacks. 4 runs in 6 innings. It took him 103 pitches to get through 6 innings against the Diamondbacks. Let's check out the Brewers as they line up defensively. Brought to you by Menards. Ryan Braun back in the lineup. Served his time on the 15-day disabled list with that strained oblique. You got Logan Schaefer spelling Chris Davis out in left. And Jonathan Lucroy back behind home plate.
Your umpires calling balls and strikes is the crew chief, Dale Scott. Dan Iasonia will have the calls at first base. C.B. Buckner at second and Hal Gibson at third. But the man you're looking at there, Dale Scott, is the man to watch in case we have replay reviews as we are ready to roll here. The first of three, Brewers and Pirates, their first meeting since the Easter Day Rumble at PNC. Brewers, oh by the way, won 3 out of 4 in that series. We are underway tonight against Josh Harrison, who was a tough guy to get out in that 4-game series in Pittsburgh last month. He had 4 hits and 8 at bats, couple of pinch hits. The Glenn Hurdle's team. And the count evens 1-1 to the right fielder Josh Harrison.
And the Pirates come in a little bit banged up. Starling Marte, their leadoff hitter, out of the lineup, got a bad back. So it's always a little bit easier to get through this Pirate lineup with him out.
Yeah, Andrew McCutchen back in. He had to miss a game over the weekend against the Cardinals because of what they described as foot soreness, but he was back out there on Sunday night. Pirates had a nice little winning streak going. They had won 4 in a row up until the final of the series with the Cardinals on Sunday. St. Louis was able to hold them off 6-5. And a full count to Josh Harrison. It's Marco Estrada, 5-0 in his career against the Pirates. 12 overall appearances, 9 as a starter. And a stellar ERA of 2.01.
And off to a nice start this year, making start number 8. He's been able to command his fastball very well. Changeup a little bit shaky his last time out. We noticed that Marco had a difficult time throwing his changeup for strikes, had to go with the fastball, and was still able to get through it with a no decision.
3-2 the count to Josh Harrison leading off the game, and he swings and does not get what would have been ball 4, but he is the first strikeout victim, the first hitter of the night.
Well, Marco likes to use that high fastball to go along with the changeup that's down in the strike zone. 4-seamer up and out of the strike zone, and Harrison swings right through it.
Good start for Marco Estrada as he gets Josh Harrison, and now he will face Neil Walker, who has started every game here for the Pirates this season. Just write him down in the lineup. He'll be your second baseman, much like Ron Renicky will write down Carlos Gomez in center field. Walker hitting .268 coming into this game. Takes down low, 2-0. Harrison began the game by striking out at a 3-2 pitch. We were just getting started here at Miller Park. Walker with 7 homers coming into this game. It's 16 last year for the Pirates.
And a lot of power, particularly from the left side of the plate, the switch hitter. But late in the game, Renicky tries to turn him around with a left-handed pitcher out on the mound.
And 3-1 the count to Neil Walker. Well, one thing that he has done, and I'm not sure he would really care to, but he has been hit by a pitch 8 times already this season. And this is well struck to center. Carlos Gomez going back, looking up, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh. Neil Walker with his 8th home run of the year, and the Pirates grab the early lead.
Yeah, Marco has had an issue this year. It's been giving up the home runs. That's number 10 that he's allowed this year. And Walker took a pitch, a 3-1 pitch, a fastball down the middle, and knocked it out of here to center field. Once again, the 4-seam fastball behind in the count. That's not where Marco wants to be. He needs to work ahead in the count. He's done such a good job of that this year. A full count to Harrison, able to get him. A 3-1 fastball ends up a home run for Walker.
Now stepping in is Andrew McCutchen, who just lights up when he knows the schedule will bring his team to Miller Park. He has hit the ball a ton in this ballpark.
Well, he hits everybody. I mean, this is a guy that's been red hot in the month of May.
Hitting over 400 this month alone.
And last time the Brewers saw the Pirates and Andrew McCutchen, he was hitting about 270. All the way up to 321 now.
The 1-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging. So Estrada with a couple of strikeouts, but in between the Neil Walker solo homer. 2 men out here in the first.
Well, he works ahead in the count. It's much more effective, the fastball. He able to get swings and misses on pitches up in the strike zone. That about let her high and got by McCutchen that time.
With 2 outs, here's Pedro Alvarez, the cleanup hitter. Has 8 homers on the year, a .218 batting average. First pitch swinging right back to Estrada. And the inning is over. But the Pirates pick up a run on a Neil Walker solo shot. Ryan Braun and the Brewers getting their first at bat. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can. It's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Let's get right to the Brewers lineup as they get their first crack at Garrett Cole here tonight. Carlos Gomez ready to get things started. The batting order brought to you by Associated Bank. Gomez, Jeanette, and Braun 1, 2, 3. Lucroy, Reynolds, and Overbay in the middle. Segura, Schaefer, and Estrada 7, 8, and 9 up against the big right-hander for the Pirates, Garrett Cole.
Yeah, the flamethrower out there, big right-hander, 23 years old, 6'4", 240 pounds, off to a good start this year. Has an explosive fastball.
And if you're just tuning in, yes, that is Carlos Gomez. There's still no decision on the appeal that was heard on Friday. So Carlos Gomez in the starting lineup here tonight for the series opener with the Pirates.
And the Brewers very happy about that. Anytime you can keep him in there. Carlos has made every start for the Brewers this year.
Yeah, just like Neil Walker of the Pirates. And you hear the reaction. This was the matchup. You know, I'm sure, but for the 2 or 3 of you who don't, it was an eventful matchup on Easter Sunday in Pittsburgh. Carlos Gomez hit the triple, as you're about to see, as we'll revisit it.
That fastball, Gomez thought he hit it out of the ballpark, off the top of the wall in center. He slides into third, and Garrett Cole took exception to the way he dropped the bat, kind of trickled out of the box, thinking it was a home run.
Gomez tried to check. He did not, and he strikes out to begin the Brewers half of the first.
And oh yeah, he's got a pretty good slider. When he gets ahead in the count, he's going to throw that slider to right-handers. And as hard as he throws his fastball, that's a very difficult pitch to be able to identify and lay off of.
Cole has split his 2 career decisions. This is a season and change here. 1-1 at .296 ERA against the Brewers in his brief career. Here's Scooter Gennett back in the starting lineup.
Let's check out the Pirates defense brought to you by Menards. The Pirates are around middle of the pack in the National League in team fielding percentage. They've committed 28 errors, but there's a side note to that. Pedro Alvarez, their third baseman, has committed 9 of them.
Yeah, he'll get you the hits, Alvarez will, but each of the last 2 seasons he's committed 27 errors, and he's on that pace again in 2014.
And in 4 years in the big leagues and this year, so 4+ years, 94 errors. He's committed at third base.
You are trading defense for a bat. And there's a base hit for Scooter Gennett as he just keeps on hitting the ball. 282 average coming in, and he's the one-out runner here for the Brewers. There's Ryan Braun. This is good timing. He really fared well against the Pirates in that series. The Powerball home run count at 3 for Ryan versus the Pirates.
Yep, won a game and tied a game on back-to-back days, Saturday and Sunday in Pittsburgh, and both coming off their closer, Jason Grilli, who's on the disabled list right now.
Yeah, Ryan Braun just off. He was on for the strained oblique, and that's the type of injury that has Grilli on the DL. So first at bat here in a couple of weeks for Ryan Braun.
So good to have his presence in that lineup, even if he doesn't get any hits. You always have to be aware where Ryan Braun is going to be coming up in an inning, and everybody is pitched a little bit differently when he's in the lineup.
And you just hope it's going to be a matter of time, 15 days or less, that you could have both Braun and Ramirez in the lineup together. What a concept.
Yeah. Didn't happen much last year.
No, it did not.
It was going pretty good early on, too.
Jonathan Lucroy, the cleanup hitter tonight for the Brewers. Ramirez on the DL, retroactive to Sunday. Garrett Cole checking Scooter Gennett.
Ryan says he's feeling pretty good. Not 100%, but certainly good enough to be in the lineup. You know, Ryan Braun at about 85% is better than most at 100%.
Very true.
Get him in the lineup and see what he can do.
1-1 the count to Braun. There's a bouncing ball to Alvarez at third to flip to Walker for one, on to first, and not scooped by Ike Davis. And the force at second takes care of Gennett. Braun the runner at first, and a little bit more on Ryan Braun. Let's send it down to Sophia.
Well, Ryan Braun back in the lineup for the first time since April 26th, and he said earlier today it certainly feels like a long time. That it was determined he would not need any minor league appearances, and asked if it would be difficult to jump in after so much time off. He said, well, I didn't see live pitching for 7 months before spring training. I did find there. He's hopeful that the oblique will not be a lingering issue. Says he's just going to try to stay loose and stay relaxed. He may use a heat pack between innings on that oblique, but other than that, he's hoping he's good to go.
I guess the only reason that the Brewers would have liked to see him go down and maybe play a couple of games to make sure it was completely healthy before he went back on the roster. And Ryan felt that everything was fine, so he's better off getting swings here at Miller Park than down in the minor league.
Jonathan Lucroy with that .304 batting average. And has put up some good numbers this year so far against the Pirates. We're on the runner at first with 2 men out. And in the air to right. This is Josh Harrison at the track, and he'll make the catch. And the inning is over for the Brewers. Still runs a hit. 1 left after 1. 1-0 Pirates. Move to the top half of the second inning here at Miller Park. Here's tonight's Feltco All-Star voting update. Brewers with 8 players on the ballot this year, and you can do your part. Cast your vote for him at Brewers.com. You have Ryan Braun back in the lineup. Gene Segura putting on a clinic on a number of occasions out at shortstop. Take a good hard look. Be sure to vote Brewers. Brewers.com.
Yeah, certainly some deserving Brewers, and particularly pitchers. We don't get to vote on the pitchers, but you would expect a couple of Brewers pitchers in Minneapolis at Target Field this year. Midsummer Classic. Starting rotation, outstanding so far this year. And the bullpen hasn't been too shabby either.
It's been okay. Jose Tabata leading off the top half of the second. Marco Estrada gave up a first inning homer to Neil Walker. Same guy who victimized them when they last met on Easter Sunday in Pittsburgh. But on that day, that was the only run that Marco allowed. Very good pitching from both Estrada and Garrett Cole. That may get lost in the shuffle with all the news of the fight. Tabata with a big cut. And there's nothing he can do but smile.
Well, you know what? People in Milwaukee are used to that, so you shouldn't be too feel too bad about it. There's a Carlos Gomez swing. Ends up on the seat of his pants, and Lucroy saying to him, "It's okay. We see it every day."
2 balls, 1 strike. Tabata in left field tonight. Well, the Pirates, in the meantime, they have one of the young phenoms. There are a lot of those who fit the category, but Gregory Polanco, very highly regarded minor league outfielder. When, not if. Most people, I think, would want you to believe when he'll be called up.
Not a lot of room in that outfield right now with Marte and McCutchen in left and right. That one right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Tabata reaches out, and that's a base hit to right. That's how the Pirates begin the second inning.
Well, just like his last start against the Diamondbacks, a lot of fastballs from Marco Estrada. Remember, he was so successful against the Pirates his last time out. That was in Pittsburgh, using a lot of changeup. So I would imagine Marco's thinking that these Pirates are going up there looking changeup, maybe trying to switch it up a little bit, throw him off balance. But he's been working behind in the count quite a bit.
And now he'll go up against a very hot hitter in Ike Davis. If you're familiar with him, you know he has power capability, but he isn't someone who hits for average. But in his last 5 games, he's 10 for his last 18.
Well, real hot, real cold, right?
And real hot right now.
Yeah, catch him at the wrong time, he's going to give you problems. John Lucroy saw something with Marco that wanted to go out and have a chat. Another fastball from Estrada. Out of the strike zone. He's been working from behind quite a bit.
That's a ball, no strikes to Ike Davis. Came over in a trade not quite a month ago from the Mets. Pitcher Zach Thornton. Davis last year with the Mets played in 103 games, hit .205, homered 3 times. It was a couple of years ago when he had a big power year, homered 32 times and drove in 90.
And not a bad defensive guy over at first base. You got Gabby Sanchez, right-handed hitter. You got a soft platoon over there at first.
1-1 to Davis.
Yep, there's the changeup. Yeah, one of the few that he's thrown so far tonight. Change of scenery, perhaps, for Ike Davis, a good thing for him.
He's liking Pittsburgh over New York.
He would not be the first that would have responded that way, right? Not just from New York, but any time. Yeah, sometimes it's just time to move on.
Well, that seems to be the case with Davis when your average jumps nearly 80 points. It's a Pirates team that is hitting as a group this month. Team average here in May of 303. And that's nearly 80 points better than what March/April turned out to be offensively for Clint Hurdle's team. And I guess it was a question going into the year, as good as the Pirates were last year, how well could this team hit? And it's starting to get some hits here in the month of May.
Gives you an idea how rough their beginning of the season was. They're hitting .247 as a club. The scoring runs isn't really their issue. It's been their team earned run average. It's pretty well down from where it was last year.
The starters ERA alone is next to last in the National League, 4.47. Davis pops this up, and Lyle Overbay will call for it. Out number 1.
Well, to give you an idea how good pitching has been in the National League, or if you want to look at it another way, how tough it's been to hit and score runs. There's only 3 teams in the National League with an earned run average over 4.
Wow.
I mean, you know, yeah, Colorado, Philadelphia, and Arizona. Everybody else is under 4. That's unbelievable. That's a good start.
A team like Colorado's hitting the cover off the ball when they're on offense, so they can make up for a kind of a high ERA. Jordy Mercer swings and misses. The runner's going to go, and the runner's going to be out by a lot. From here to there, Jose Tabata trying to steal second, and Jonathan Lucroy's having none of it.
Yeah, I mean, that was a botched hit and run, I think, because Tabata didn't have a very good jump. And that was about as easy as it gets. Jeanette with a tag, and no chance for Tabata to get to second base.
Jordy Mercer doing all he could just to make some contact there, but could not. The count is 1-1. Mercer, another one of those Pirates whose bat has been a little more lively of late. And there's an example as this will find the gap in left center field. Mercer turns first, and he has himself a stand-up double.
So I guess Jose Tabata shouldn't have stolen a base, right? Not that the Brewers would have worked Jordy Mercer the same way, but there's another fastball, a 4-seamer. Middle in, and Mercer able to center on it and rip it off the wall out there in left center. 89 miles an hour. A lot of fastballs once again from Marco Estrada.
Third hit already for the Pirates here in the second inning. Now Chris Stewart will face Marco Estrada. Stewart traded from the Yankees last December for pitcher Kyle Haynes.
Getting a fair amount of playing time with Russell Martin on the disabled list. He and Tony Sanchez splitting time. That's a big bat and a big defensive force out of the lineup for the Pirates, but they've been able to play pretty good without him.
Yeah, Stewart played quite a bit last year with the Yankees, but you're right with Martin at the hamstring injury, and when he's available to come off, he still has a 1-game suspension to serve going back to that Easter Sunday fight. Stewart last year set career highs for him in games, runs, and hits. Played in 109 games, started 97 times. And did a pretty fair job of throwing out attempted base stealers a year ago. As he threw out 17 of the 54 who tried. The 0-2 pitch.
Man, he's 3 for 7 this year, so he's pretty good defensive catcher.
Pirates with a run in the first on a Neil Walker homer. Had a couple of hits here in the second, but Jose Tabata thrown out. Attempted hit and run. Jordy Mercer with a double a moment ago. Count remains 0-2. Pirates come in with a 16-21 record, 7.5 behind the Brewers. And Hurdle's team did have a 4-game winning streak. Snapped on Sunday in their series finale with the St. Louis Cardinals.
This is only their 15th road game. They played a lot at home.
And they have not traveled well. They've lost 10 of their first 14 away from PNC. They have had a heavy dose of the Central Division. Have the Pirates this season. Their 30th game against the National League Central. Roy has to block it. Count evens 2-2.
And Marco just a little bit off tonight. Finding himself behind in the count, having a difficult time locating the breaking pitch and establishing his changeup tonight. It's something you don't see much from Marco. He usually has that pitch going for him.
Jordy Mercer off the bag at second. That is strike 3 call. No runs, a couple of hits, one left, bottom of the second, 1-0 Pirates. The second, Mark Reynolds will lead off for the home team. Speaking of Mr. Reynolds, here's your Southwest Airlines non-stoppable play Sunday afternoon, bottom of the ninth, 0-2 to count. And this is what Mark Reynolds does. He drives home Ricky Weeks with the game winner, 6-5 Brewers over the Yankees.
They had 2 outs. Ricky Weeks on third base. Ricky Weeks had pretty good back-to-back games against the Yankees. Drove in the winning run on Saturday and scored the winning run on Sunday.
There he is. 7 for 11 on the homestand. He's really been swinging the bat.
Yeah.
The outs have been well hit balls.
Doing what is sometimes very difficult to do, staying sharp without getting a lot of playing time.
Some big time work turned in by Ricky Weeks as well as Mark Reynolds. As he gets the starting call at third base once again tonight. Ramos Ramirez on the DL, retroactive to Sunday. Ryan Braun back in the lineup. They gain one but lose one.
I just hope it's not going to be too long for Ramirez. Nice to get the 3-4 hitters intact. Get this offense at full strength.
Yeah, it looked like Aramis was starting to break through from the hitting slump. Had the hamstring strain, like trying to range hard to his left to field a ground ball. Came up limping. Reynolds out on strikes.
Hey, celebrate Memorial Day at Miller Park. Monday, May 26th. The Brewers will wear special camo-themed uniforms honoring past and present military personnel as they take on the Baltimore Orioles. Reserve your seats today at 414-902-4000 or go to Brewers.com.
One out in the second for Lyle Overbay. Had a hit in 5 trips on Sunday. Drove in a run. You see the gas that Garrett Cole can bring. 97 miles an hour, but missed. He pitched 8 innings and gave up just the 1 run. Was in line to get the win on Easter Sunday, and then along came Ryan Braun off Jason Grilli in the 9th.
And the only run that Cole allowed was that Mark Reynolds homer.
And a game that the Brewers went on to win in 14 innings. One of 6 extra inning games the Brewers have had this season, and they've won 4 of them.
That 95 to 97 with a fastball for Cole. He can bring it. And when he can get the breaking ball over for strikes, that's when offenses are in trouble.
Number 1 overall selection in the 2011 draft. And that is strike 3 called, is up to 98 now as Garrett Cole 2 outs in the second.
And that little bit of a comeback 2-seam fastball from Cole. Kind of gets on the side of it, not much sink, but it tails and catches the inside corner. Dale Scott setting up right over that inside corner, rings him up.
Two outs with the bases empty. Gene Segura.
Right, just pouring in the strikes, one after the other.
Cole has struck out 3 early on here tonight. He struck out 10 in his second start of this year at Wrigley Field. And that was in 6 innings. Ground ball to third, Alvarez. And it's a 1-2-3 second for Garrett Cole. We're through 2 with the Pirates leading the Brewers 1-0. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. And by First Supply. With 115 years of service and 28 locations, professional contractors choose First Supply. Move to the top of the third at Miller Park. And Neil Walker homer, the only scoring so far. That was in the first inning. 1-0 the Pirates. As Garrett Cole, by the way, stepping in, and that gets the welcoming that he from the crowd here at Miller Park that he's getting right now. But as you can see, he is not an automatic out.
You got to make your pitches, and anybody with the bat up there with their hand in their hand. And Cole, youngster, only 23 years old, and swings it pretty well.
In his major league debut, his first at bat, he had a 2-run single off of Tim Lincecum, which was his first hit since high school. Played 3 years of college ball at UCLA.
And Cole had 2 hits off of Marco back in Pittsburgh. 2 singles to right.
One and 2 the count. Cole with 5 hits this season. Hit 245 last year. Drove in 5 runs. He will not get hit number 6 right now. Strikeout number 4 for Marco Estrada.
And the high fastball, tough to get to, even when it's only 91 miles an hour.
Back to the top of the order, Josh Harrison. Showing bunt, takes a strike. Marco Estrada gave up a home run to Neil Walker, the second hitter of the night. As Harrison down the line and right. And that is a fair ball. Harrison on his way to second. And a guy who was one tough out when they last met in Pittsburgh a month ago has his first hit of the night here with a double.
A nice piece of hitting, taking that pitch to the opposite field. Struck out on a 3-2 pitch his first time up. There's a breaking ball from Marco, a curveball, not a bad pitch. Harrison goes right with it. Not sure what that means, but I guess he's happy about his double.
Walker with the solo homer in the first. He has 23 RBIs. That is the most among second basemen in all of big league ball. You mentioned he also homered the last time he saw Estrada on Easter Sunday.
This guy can hit. He's always hit the Brewers well.
Walker comes in his career .278 against the Brewers, but has had some pop. And this is popped up. It'll be Lyle Overbay. 2 outs in the third.
Marco looked like he wanted to catch that one until everybody said, hey, get out of here. I've got it. You don't get out of there until somebody calls it, though.
And now Estrada will square off against last year's MVP in the National League, Andrew McCutchen, who struck out in the first.
This is where the presence of Pedro Alvarez in this lineup really makes it tough on the Brewers here. You'd like to be able to pitch around McCutchen, but you really can't. This early in the ball game when you got Alvarez on deck, low batting average, but he can hit a ton of homers.
He's already hit 8 this year and at 36 a year ago, which tied him with Paul Goldschmidt. 0-2 to McCutchen as we look at the on-deck hitter, Pedro Alvarez. McCutchen in his last 20 games at Miller Park is hitting .407 with 8 homers.
Is that all?
That's all. It's the best he can do.
And just about every one of his outs have been hit hard.
2-strike pitch.
McCutchen hits more line drives at Brewer defenders than anybody in baseball. He's like every time he makes an out, it's a line drive at somebody.
Terrific player to watch. The MVP last year. Had terrific numbers. Was very much in the discussion 2 years ago. He had .327 and had 31 homers. Got a piece of it. And also got a piece of home plate umpire Dale Scott there. Let me see what McCutchen has done in May. That's serious hitting.
Right on the inside of the leg. There's no padding there for the home plate umpire. He's all right. They said, let's go.
But I'm good.
Dale Scott's been around a while.
Look at him. Flexing.
He's one of those umpires that looks as though he has a good time out there on the field.
Fun to watch, huh?
He bounces around. Why wouldn't you, right?
Beats working, right? You just have a lot of critics.
Yep, this is his 29th year in baseball. Major league umpire. Yep, Dale Scott.
So he's probably taken a few foul tips.
Yeah.
Foul at third. Count holds 1-2 to McCutchen. Josh Harrison, a 1-out double. He remains the runner at second with 2 outs here in inning number 3. Other NL Central scores keeping an eye on here. Reds and the Padres tied at 1 in the 7th. Bottom of the 2nd in St. Louis. Cubs and Cardinals no score. Cubs had the big boy bats out last night, winning 17-5. They just come to life against St. Louis. Both the Brewers and Pirates had yesterday off. They'll meet again tomorrow night and then have the series finale on Thursday afternoon.
And then the Brewers take off on a 10-game road trip. Chicago, Atlanta, Miami.
And the count is full to Andrew McCutchen. Got him swinging for the second time tonight. And a 5th strikeout overall for Marco Estrada, so he gives up a double in the inning, but nothing more. We move to the bottom of the 3rd. Pirates leading 1-0. Park. Pirates leading the Brewers 1-0.
If you're going to get an opportunity to see Hank, the ballpark pup, tomorrow here at Miller Park, his first public appearance since opening day here in Milwaukee. That was March 31st. So come on out, check out Hank. His doghouse isn't out there in center field.
No, it was. There's somebody ready to meet Hank right there. Come back tomorrow, sir. He'll be here waiting for you. Logan Schaefer leads off the third with a base hit. You're right, though, about the doghouse. But the dog, Hank, will be here tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe the doghouse will come back. Who knows? What's the name of that TV show, Wilford? You know, the guy that dresses up in a dog suit,
yeah,
pretends like he's a dog.
And I love it, expressionless. I'm here. Got a problem?
What? What are you looking at me for?
You looking at me? There's Marco Estrada. Gonna lay down a bunt, and the play will be at first. It worked. Sack bunt. Second of the year for Marco Estrada. Back to the top of the order, Carlos Gomez.
Yep, an area that the Brewers would like to improve upon. They're bunting, advancing base runners. Mark was able to do it nicely that time.
And here's a look at the Brewers home run leaders presented by Powerball. Carlos Gomez leading the way with 9. Mark Reynolds with 8. Ryan Braun back in action at 6. And Ramos Ramirez with 5. RBI opportunity for Gomez with Logan Schaefer, the runner, at second, and 1 out. You know, I've been around long enough, I shouldn't hold my breath, but I do when he takes that hard cut and falls. Just afraid it's going to be a little awkward.
Yeah, you know, hamstring, knee, you never know, back. Jose Tabata went down back in the second inning, I think it was.
But Gomez looked far cooler. Tabata was a delayed fall, and now Carlos gets hit. And boy, that's going to get people a little upset. But Carlos took it on the back, and they just jogged down to first.
That was a changeup. I think if the fans realized that it was a changeup, I don't think they'd be reacting that way. Certainly you don't want to hit anybody on purpose. You're going to hit somebody on purpose. You do it with a fastball, not a changeup.
Yeah, that was not the gas.
No, that was not intentional. It was just a changeup that got away from him. That's why Carlos had no reaction.
Reaction now is a smile. He and Ike Davis.
Hey, they hit with a changeup. That's okay.
Yeah, if you're going to get hit with a changeup.
Right. Pirates not afraid to hit batters, though. I mean, they lead the National League in hitting batters as a pitching staff.
Yeah, that's the 25th. That staff has plunked. Here's Scooter Gennett. This is hit in the air to left field. Jose Tabata with room. And there are 2 men out.
Yeah, good idea for Scooter. Just got underneath. You're going to see Scooter hit too many home runs to left field. Ordinarily pretty good at getting on top and driving it into left field, hitting line drives. When he gets under them, they're going to be outs.
The Rockies mentioning the number of hit batsmen. That's the third when Cole hit Gomez, the third hitter that Cole has popped this year. Charlie Morton has hit 8. So 8 of those 25 coming from one starter.
Yeah, the Pirates lead the National League. The Brewers have the second fewest hit batters, only 8 this year.
There's Ryan Braun. Runners at first and second with 2 men out. Ryan Braun's first appearance. It's that Cubs game. More than 2 weeks ago. Saturday night, when during the course of the game both Gene Segura had to leave and then Ryan Braun later. Runners are moving. Pitch is taken. Throw down the third. Not in time. Schaefer to third. Gomez to second.
Oh, that probably does. It probably takes the bat out of Ryan Braun's hand. Of course, you know, having Jonathan Lucroy up there is no problem, but risky business with Braun at the plate, stealing third base. Good throw, and Schaefer is going to be out, and that's the last thing you want to do is not only make the third out at third base, but make the third out at third base with Ryan Braun at the plate. And that was close. Good throw gets him.
Schaefer doing a nice job of keeping that foot on the bag too. Alvarez was waiting for him to slide right over it. 2-0 to Ryan Braun. Figured he wasn't going to get much of anything to hit. He did not. Bases are loaded.
Well, he gave him some pretty close pitches. That 2-0 pitch went off the plate by that much.
Here's Jonathan Lucroy. You see this opportunity for the Brewers. 2 men out in the third.
Well, Lucroy hit one pretty hard deep into right field his last time up.
That sent Josh Harrison to the warning track. See the numbers with the bases full for Jonathan Lucroy. He's hit 2 homers on the year. Including one in the Yankees series this past weekend off of CC Sabathia. Lucroy's average at .302. Driven in 13. The ball is strike to Lucroy.
They're playing him straight away. That's why you have to play Lucroy. He sprays the ball around the diamond.
To right field. Harrison, a late break, and that's it. Schaefer is in. Here comes Gomez. Brewers take the lead. Jonathan Lucroy, 2-run knock. Giving the Brewers a 2-1 lead.
That's about as routine a fly ball to right field as you're going to see. Check this out. I mean, this is a ball that's got to be caught. Look where that thing drops. I mean, how deep Harrison is, and he got a bad break on it. I mean, when you're that deep, there's only one way to go, and that's to come in. Played deep, bad break. That ball should have been caught, but Lucroy with a base hit, and the Brewers take a lead. I don't blame Cole. That should have been caught. That's just a bad play out there in right.
Harrison making his 6th start of this year in right. He's also started a couple of games at third. And a late break is costly for his team.
You can understand if you're playing regular depth or maybe playing in, to have a delayed reaction coming in. When you're playing with your heels on a warning track, it looked like he was pretty close to doing that. You're only one way to go from there, and that's in.
The Brewers with the runners at the corners. Braun at third and Lucroy at first for Mark Reynolds. Sharply hit but foul. Reynolds struck out in the second. Oh, 0-2 to the Brewers' third baseman. Well, Reynolds played some impressive defense. You remember the walk-off. Did a great job of starting a double play and around the horn double play in the game Sunday against the Yankees. Had to go up and get a high chopper, and it made it look pretty easy.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter where Rennicky puts him in the infield. You know, first base, third base, and he has been very good over there. Regardless of where he puts him, Rennicky's been very happy with Reynolds so far. Why wouldn't he be?
Made some good plays over at first in that Pirates series, if you remember last month. A couple of hard shots went his way in the ninth. One of those games able to make plays. Either side of the infield, he'll do what you need to do. Either corner.
He's scrappy. He just gets the job done. Kind of a blue collar type guy out there, and gives you all he's got.
A little conference on the mound as Mark Reynolds patiently waits. Brewers have reached Garrett Cole for 2 runs here in the third. Cole's last outing last Wednesday against the Giants, he worked 8 innings, gave up 7 hits and just 3 runs. Knocked down by Ike Davis, and he'll flip to Cole covering, and the inning is over. But the Brewers get on the board. Jonathan Lucroy, 2-run single. We are through 3 at third part, with the Brewers leading the Pittsburgh Pirates 2-1.
for the 4th. And tomorrow night, it will be the premiere of our Baseball in the Dominican Republic Carlos Gomez special. We have had the opportunity to share with you the stories of Gene Segura, and tomorrow night it will be Carlos Gomez's turn. We go home with Gogo to his hometown of Santiago. He takes us to the field where he grew up playing, shows us his hometown, and one of the highlights was going to Gomez's grade school. And if you think Gomez is a fan favorite here in Milwaukee, well, you will be blown away by the reaction of these kids when they see Carlos Gomez walk in to their classroom. So it's a great story. We're thrilled to share it with you. It will premiere tomorrow night at 10:30 after Brewers Live postgame. And as Gomez awaits word on the appeal of his suspension, says he's hopeful that it's taking so long because they're considering his appeal, hopeful that he'll get that suspension reduced by at least a game, and also said he doesn't have any hard feelings with Garrett Cole. Same with Travis Snyder. Actually saw him out last night, said they shook hands, exchanged words, said, it's all going to stay on the field. Certainly this series is always very competitive, and they play with a lot of emotion. So it'll be another hard-fought series here.
No doubt about it, Sophia. The divisional games, they've seen a lot of each other already this season. Looking forward to watching that tomorrow night. That's going to be...
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Sophia and the Fox crew did a nice job down there, and must-see TV. What you didn't say about Snyder and Gomez, they threw $50 steaks at each other. All's good though.
Somehow that was omitted.
Yeah. But all's good.
Pedro Alvarez leading off the 4th inning for the Pirates.
Just kidding, by the way. Just folks out there. That didn't happen.
To clarify, that was a joke.
Just kind of a joke. Probably didn't go over well, but.
Full count to Alvarez. We mentioned genuine home run hitter. He has 8 this season at 36 last year. That tied for the National League lead with Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks. Full count to the Pirates' third baseman. And he draws a walk. Time now for our carsoup.com trivia question. Which team did Marco Estrada make his major league debut with? Which team did Marco Estrada make his major league debut? He'll face Jose Tabata. Only run that Marco is allowed tonight, a home run to Neil Walker in the first. Estrada has given up 2 homers in each of his last 3 starts, but a 2-1 record. And a 3.53 ERA, and he is undefeated in his career, 5-0 against the Pirates. Blocked by Lucroy, keeps it out in front. Alvarez, the runner at first. Tabata singled to right in the second. A ball, 2 strikes. Again, Lucroy goes down and gets it. Estrada has been a consistent pitcher, though. You go back to last year, his last 16 starts coming into this game, he's 5-1. An ERA at 2.74.
And 22 pitch second inning where he did not allow a run. But fighting his off-speed pitches today. A little bit like he did his last time out against the Diamondbacks.
No decisions in each of his last 2 starts.
His first 6 starts, that changeup was outstanding every time he threw it. Been more of a struggle for him last couple of times out.
Runners going. Tabata taps it, and that will roll foul.
Just barely. Boy, that's close.
Very.
Any part of the baseball goes over any part of the base, and it's a fair ball. Of course, not reviewable.
A 3-2 pitch to Tabata. Runner again going. Swung on and missed. Throw down to second. It's not in time. Alvarez has the base. Tabata strikes out.
That time Marco able to get that changeup over the plate to get a swing and a miss from Jose Tabata, who singled his first time up. Big jump by Alvarez. No chance right that time for Jonathan Lucroy. Tremendous jump.
It's 4 stolen bases for Alvarez this season. 5 tries. Here's Ike Davis. One of the hotter of the Pirates hitters. Davis coming in, popped to Lyle Overbay in the 2nd inning. See a couple of home runs for him this year. Brewers with 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd to grab the lead. Pittsburgh here in the 4th with 1 out, and Pedro Alvarez the runner at 2nd. And this is hit in the air to center. Carlos Gomez. 2 outs.
Yeah, Pirates now 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Hey, Brewers fans, you can live the high life at Miller Park this season with Miller High Life Mondays during all Monday home games. Terrace Reserve tickets are just $9, courtesy of Miller High Life. Visit Brewers.com/highlife today.
Two outs here in the 4th for Jordy Mercer. Mercer had a very tough stretch late April, early May, went 3 for 36. But here in the last 3 games, and you count this tonight, last 4, he is 7 for his last 13. That average just a little bit north of 200 right now at 210.
He and Clint Barmas share the shortstop duties. Barmas the better of the 2 normally offensively, but Jordy Mercer's got a slick glove. He's a good shortstop, starting to hit.
His first homer of the year on Sunday night against Shelby Miller of the Cardinals. Three 0 to Mercer. Estrada so far tonight has struck out 6. He has walked 1, that being Alvarez here in the 4th, and he's 3-0 with Mercer. And there's the second walk of the inning. So the Pirates have a little threat going in the top half of the 4th.
And 77 pitches already for Marco Estrada. We're only in the 4th inning. Ordinarily much more efficient with his pitches than he is tonight.
He'll face Chris Stewart.
And Marco's always been a guy, or at least this year, early on, has been able to get outs quickly. He works fast, throws a lot of strikes. Having a much more difficult time tonight.
And he misses the Stewart. Stewart took a call, third strike of the second.
78 pitches from Marco now, 34 balls, 44 strikes.
Estrada's last outing against the Diamondbacks, 6 innings, pitch count got to 103. Gave up 4 hits and 4 runs. No decision, a game that the D-backs went on to win 7-5. Can't quite find that groove yet. The 2-1 coming to Stewart. Fastball in there, 2-2. Alvarez at second. Mercer the runner at first. And a full count to the Pirates catcher. See if Estrada can get out of this. Runners going. This is hit in the air. Left center field. That is Logan Schaefer near the wall. Is able to run it down. Side retired. Couple of walks. No damage done. Brewers hanging on to a 2-1 lead. It does not get any better than that. Yes, sir. And no doubt this young man on Thursday. Checking this out. MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns. The Padres take on Joey Votto and the Reds. Action starts Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Central on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Take a look at the NL Central standings. Never mind looking at it when you're in first, and that's where the Brewers are, 5.5 over the Cardinals, and the Reds 6 behind. See the rest there with the Pirates and the Cubs.
Everybody else under 500. How about that?
Yeah, it's surprising. Cardinals just haven't gotten in that rhythm yet. Of course, around here, you'd like to see that continue.
Right.
Lyle Overbay leading off the 4th inning. Brewers able to get to Garrett Cole a couple of runs. A Jonathan Lucroy single, 2-run single. Josh Harrison getting a late break. That allowed the Brewers to get a couple of runs across. Overbay, one of 3 strikeout victims so far for Garrett Cole.
It took a little off that last pitch. Remember, Cole got him on a called strike 3 on the inside corner. A little comeback 2-seam fastball. Can't give up on that pitch that starts in off the corner. Coming back in there.
And that's strikeout number 4 for Garrett Cole.
And looks like he went. Good call down there by Hal Gibson. Awfully difficult to stop that bat when you start it.
One out of the 4th for Gene Segura. The ground ball to Pedro Alvarez in the 2nd inning. How about the Cardinals' struggles? They're early. They're trailing the Cubs again tonight, 2-1. They're in the bottom of the 3rd in St. Louis. Reds and Padres are tied at 1 in the 9th.
The Cardinals coming in have lost six of the last 10 games. So you're right. They just haven't found that groove quite yet.
Brewers went in there that last road trip and took 2 out of 3. A couple of extra inning wins before the Cardinals won the series finale.
Hottest team in baseball, the Giants. Best record in baseball. They've won 7 of the last 10 games.
2.5 game lead over the Rockies. 25-14 the Giants. Atlanta leading a crowded NL East. 3.5 games separating first from last. The Phillies sitting at 17-19. The Braves up 1.5 games on the Nationals.
And Brewers are going to see the Braves for 4 games next week. Best pitching staff in baseball. 266 team earned run average. Brewers currently 4th in the National League in ERA. Comes as no surprise to people.
The Brewers will not be seeing on that trip when they go down to Miami Jose Fernandez. They're going to shut him down. His elbow surgery. Now they haven't, I don't believe it's officially announced as Tommy John. There's been a lot of that obviously in Major League Baseball, but you know that one of the bright pitchers in this game may very well be done for this year and for a while. There's a ground ball to short. And there are 2 men out. Now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. They figured something was wrong with the Marlins star pitcher when Friday night he gave up 5 earned runs to the Padres, not a team known for its explosiveness offensively.
And that's too bad because you go in there, you want to see a guy like Fernandez, you want to see the league's best, and he's just good for baseball. You hope he's going to be all right.
It's a Marlins team that's been pretty competitive to this point. 20-19, a couple of games behind the Braves in the East.
Yeah, they got off to a great start, didn't they? They've lost 4 straight though. They're playing well at home, 17-5.
Yeah, and it's almost completely flipped on the road where they've lost 14 of their 17. We've seen some strange splits. Most notably in baseball, the Diamondbacks still looking for their 4th home win. 3-16.
Something else, isn't it?
Crazy. Logan Schaefer with 2 outs and nobody on. Schaefer singled and eventually scored in the third.
Interesting how the schedule works out sometimes. The Pirates have played the fewest road games. This is only their 15th game away from home. They're 4-10. You mentioned that earlier, but there's not many road games so far this year.
Yeah, and it's worked in the opposite fashion early for the Cardinals. They've been at home just 13 times. And obviously it'll flip for them, but interesting scheduling early.
Yeah, that and the fact that they've played every one of their games except 3. Check that, 8 against the National League Central.
Yeah, pretty much the month of April was against the NL Central for Clint Hurdle's team. I mentioned his team is swinging a pretty good bat, at least coming into this series, swinging a good bat in the month of May. 2-2 the count to Schaefer. Schaefer is out on strikes. So Garrett Cole getting a little rhythm back. We're through 4. It's 2-1 Brewers. Park with the Brewers leading the Pirates 2-1. Earlier on, we asked our Carsoup.com trivia question, which team did Marco Estrada make his major league debut with? And there's your answer. The Washington Nationals. Brewers got him from the Nats.
On waivers, right?
Yes, they did.
They gave up on him, and the Brewers picked him up. And the last couple of years, actually last 3 years, he's been terrific.
Well, the Brewers say thank you very much.
411 earned run average. Doesn't have the wins to show for it, but I'll tell you, he was one of the more valuable pitchers on that staff back in 2011. You know, making starts, working out of the bullpen. Been a nice find for Doug Moulton.
And I think, again, the word grind is used quite a bit, but kind of grinding through tonight. Maybe not totally on his game, but has held the Pirates to just the 1 run.
And a red-hot offensive team, too.
Garrett Cole leading off here in the 5th for Pittsburgh. He struck out in the 4th. Estrada with 6 strikeouts so far. Cole can be a dangerous hitter. He's 5 for 16 at the plate this season. 2-2 the count.
They got him last time up on a high fastball. Up around the letters and swung right through it.
That game Easter Sunday, Cole had singles in each of his first 2 plate appearances. Also laid down a bunt in the 7th. Pops a foul out of play.
Takes a pretty good hack up there. Knows what he's doing.
.6'4", 240. One of the top high school prospects. One of the top prospects coming into the big leagues. And he strikes out for the 2nd time tonight.
Hey, that brings us to tonight's time of the game winner. Tasha's in Appleton. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
One out in the 5th for Josh Harrison. He doubled in the 3rd. But had to stay right there. Could not advance. Harrison comes in swinging a pretty decent bat. .333 over his last 14 games. 1 for 2 tonight.
Well, no doubt he can handle a fastball because he has been swinging a good bat even in Pittsburgh against Milwaukee, which is why the Brewers threw a curveball to him and he ripped it down the right field line for a double. So he's seeing everything well.
And he continues to see everything well. Base hit to center.
Got on top of a high fastball. That's the bread and butter for Estrada when he gets ahead in the count. But Harrison able to handle it upstairs. Marco's still looking for a 3-up, 3-down inning.
Here's Neil Walker. He represents the Pirates. 1 run so far tonight. A solo shot in the 1st.
You got to watch Harrison. He'll take off. You got to keep an eye on him.
A couple of stolen bases this season. Been caught twice. But definitely not afraid to run.
Got a big lead over there at first base.
And Estrada is aware. Pirates with 5 hits. Estrada has struck out 7. Look out. Here's a snap throw to first. And getting back is Harrison.
Yeah, I'll keep him close to first base. That's a good throw by Lucroy. Perfect pitch to do it on. Fastball up and in. Catcher is somewhat hidden by the batter. Base runner not sure if he's going to come over there. It's a good opportunity to pick him off.
Here comes the 1-1. This is popped up. Gene Segura says he has it. And he does. 2 outs in the 5th. And now Andrew McCutchen has struck out twice in this game. That series in Pittsburgh, McCutchen homered, but the Brewers have kept him pretty quiet, at least to this point, when the Brewers and Pirates have met.
And you got Scooter swung around toward left field side of second base. But you have him straight away in the outfield, because when he hits it in the air, he will go to the opposite field. Not many ground balls to the right side. A lot of room between Jeanette and Overbay.
Coming up will be pitch number 100 tonight for Marco Estrada. Season high in terms of pitch count, 107. It was on April 26th against the Cubs. He went 7 2/3 in getting the victory. Two and two. Yep, it is 2-2 to McCutchen.
Yeah, about as good a pitch as you can make on any hitter. Right on the outside corner, down in the count, 2-1.
Josh Harrison, the runner at first. 2 outs and a 2-2 count to Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen 6 for 30 to this point against the Brewers in 2014. And the play will be at second. Scooter Jeanette takes care of it, and they keep McCutchen quiet. Halfway through, Brewers lead 2-1. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can. It's Miller time. Bottom of the fifth with the Brewers leading the Pirates 2-1. It'll be 9-1-2 in the order for the Crew as Marco Estrada leads off against Garrett Cole. Estrada laid down a sacrifice bunt in the third that moved Logan Schaefer. Schaefer eventually coming around and scoring on a 2-run single from Jonathan Lucroy. Brewers getting their runs in that third frame. There's a little chopper to second. That's Neil Walker, and that's out number 1.
Hey, the Brewers take on the rivals from the Windy City Friday, May 30th through Sunday, June 1st. Reserve your seats today at Brewers.com or at 414-902-4000. When the Chicago Cubs come to Miller Park for a weekend series. Brewers head to Chicago and Wrigley Field on Friday. 3 consecutive day games at Wrigley Field coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Carlos Gomez. I will look forward to watching that.
Yeah, that's right.
Get Brian Anderson back, get the 18 back, and I will be tuned in, feet up, relaxed. It'll be fun.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for everybody.
Yeah,
good to get BA back. Watched him last night working the NBA playoff route. Man's been everywhere.
Yes, he has.
Carlos Gomez got hit by a pitch his last trip. A 78-mile-an-hour pitch, not the real gas that Garrett Cole can throw.
Change up. Got away from him, hit him. And because of that, that was one of the reasons why the Brewers were able to put up 2 runs in the 3rd inning.
And Gomez is on with a walk. So 1 out base runner in the 5th. Scooter Gennett will stroll to the plate. Let's hear a little more about Scooter as we send it down to Sophia Minutes.
Well, Matt, with the resurgence of Ricky Weeks at the plate this homestand, he's hit 7 for 11 and 3 RBIs. Ron Renicky, talking about that second base platoon, said it certainly becomes a little bit more complicated because you don't want to remove Ricky from the lineup. But this series is particularly favorable because they'll have 2 left-handers on Wednesday and Thursday, so they'll expect Ricky back in the lineup then. He said, but it's not, Scooter's still holding his own this homestand as well. Scooter has 6 hits and an RBI, including 1 tonight. So a favorable matchup for this series. Ron said it gets more difficult when we face a series of right-handed pitchers.
They create some good options if Ricky can keep swinging the bat the way he has here in his homestand, and especially those last 2 starts.
Yeah, that's a nice problem to have, though, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Which one of your hot hitters do you want to have in your lineup? Ricky did such a good job. We talked about it, on a number of occasions this last couple of days, how good a job he has done staying sharp. He went 12 games between starts before he made a start on Saturday night and ended up winning the ball game.
Yeah, it's impressive work. You see Chris Stewart trying to nab Gomez, but Carlos able to get back.
Unfortunately for Ron Renicky, second base is the only position that either one of them can play. So you're kind of limited as to what you can do.
Gennett hitting .286, but yeah, it limits the moving parts that you have. The Brewers made a roster move in addition to getting Braun back in the lineup, and Aramis Ramirez going on the DL. Elian Herrera brought up from Nashville. Caleb Gindel sent down to AAA. Herrera gives you some options as to different places you can put him. He's really been hitting well.
Yeah, anywhere on the infield, anywhere in the outfield. He made some starts out in the right. And he's a switch hitter.
2-0 to Scooter Gennett. And this is down the line. A fair ball. Gomez rounding second. He'll take it to third, and Ed Cedar will put the brakes on there. It's a double for Gennett as the Brewers have a threat here in the 5th inning.
Now, what a beautiful approach by Scooter Gennett. We talked about how good he is at taking that pitch to left field, opposite field hitter. That shoulder just stays right on it. Doesn't budge it in. Just watch the front shoulder by Gennett. It just stays right in there, able to handle that pitch away from him. And not just hit it that way, but drive it in that direction. Gets on top of the baseball. That's the tough part of that. So all 3 of his at-bats, he's been able to hit the ball to the opposite field. And an easy decision for Ed Cedar with Ryan Braun coming up. Hold Gomez at third base.
And a conference on the mound here at Miller Park. As Garrett Cole into some trouble in the 5th inning.
And former Brewer pitcher Ray Searage, the Pirates hitting coach or pitching coach.
And here's Ryan Braun. Comes in having hit Pirate pitching very well in 2014, 367 with the 3 home runs. Including those back-to-back dramatic home runs against Jason Grilli. One that won the game. And then on Easter Sunday, the solo homer in the 9th that tied it in a game the Brewers went on to win in 14. Nothing in 2.
Yeah, slider to the 98 with a fastball, and that one got by Ryan Braun. Not easy to do.
Look at like jumping right back into it against somebody like Garrett Cole.
Yeah, you go from Ed Cedar throwing about 70, 67 miles an hour to Garrett Cole at 98.
But sneaky, nasty stuff from Ed Cedar.
Yeah,
right?
it is sneaky. A little movement on it.
Ron goes down swinging. Two outs here in the 5th. Strikeout number 6 for Garrett Cole.
Yep, slider, fastball, slider to get Ryan on 3 pitches. There's a good pitch by Garrett Cole. Off the outside corner. Basically, no, it was on the plate. Just took a little bit off and had Ryan out in front.
Jonathan Lucroy. 2-run single into 3rd with 2 outs. Well, here we are again. Runners at 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs.
Pirates have the opportunity to walk him here. They got first base open. You got a guy on deck, although he has incredible power. More apt to strike out in these situations. First pitch to Lucroy was a breaking ball in the dirt.
Manager Clint Hurdle. Garrett Cole. A 1-0 count to Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy with 15 RBIs now.
And Clint Hurdle uses the intentional walk more than any manager in the National League. He's had 14 intentional walks. It doesn't look like he's interested in doing that in this situation.
Two and 1 to Lucroy. Carlos Gomez walked after Marco Estrada began the inning with a ground ball to 2nd. Gomez walked and Jeanette with a double. Ryan Braun struck out a moment ago.
Yeah, this time Josh Harrison not nearly as deep as he was the last time Lucroy was up.
Yeah, Harrison, the right fielder, was near the track. He got a late break. And Lucroy was able to get a 2-run single out of it. And now it's a 2-2 count to the Brewers catcher.
Lucroy still hadn't seen a fastball. Sliders and changeups. That last one was a slider that fooled him.
Conference on the mound. Chris Stewart, the catcher, appearing in his 9th game this season. His 9th game as a Pirate, of course, coming over in the offseason. So he gets on the same page with Garrett Cole. Lucroy stays alive. It's final in Cincinnati now. The Padres have beaten the Reds 2-1. Cubs still lead the Cardinals 2-1. They're in the 5th in St. Louis. The 2-2 pitch. Lucroy hitting .307. 1 for 2 tonight. And yet another conversation.
Yeah, why give signs? Just go out and talk every time, right?
Huddle up.
Well, the way the Brewers pitching staff has been, you don't blame them for wanting to make sure what they want to throw here. I mean, it's a big point in the game. Base hit. Probably scores 2. Stretches that Brewers lead.
And the bases are loaded. And they are loaded for Mark Reynolds. Reynolds ended Sunday's game. There's a chance to give the home team a little elbow room now. Bases loaded. Only in the 5th. 1-run game. First pitch swinging, a little chopper to Cole. He'll flip to Stewart at the plate, and a threat goes by the boards here for the Brewers. We're through 5, 2-1, the Crew.
The 2-1 lead over the Pirates, and tonight in our Crew in the Community as part of the Brewers Wives Dinner Delivery Program. Today, Brewers Wives will deliver a hot meal to the families at the Ronald McDonald House of Southeast Wisconsin. The wives serve the meals to the families and will provide gift bags filled with Brewers memorabilia. So a great cause for the Brewers Wives. And Mark Reynolds was the walk-off winner on Sunday against the Yankees, but Ron Renneke said it's been his defense where he's really shown. He's shown some tremendous athleticism, diving for balls, showing some vertical talent, and then also a good arm and quick feet. So with the left-handers in the lineup, don't be surprised if you see Reynolds switch over to first base and Jeff Bianchi or Elian Herrera filling in at third over the next few days.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. Elian Herrera checking into the Brewers lineup, playing left field. And moving from left to center is Logan Schaefer. It looked to me, I don't know if Carlos was running maybe as well as he normally used to seeing. I probably shouldn't guess out loud like that, but in the last inning,
it looked like he was, gimping around just a little bit. I mean, yeah, it's all relative with Gomez. I mean, he was still running pretty good, but
This didn't look like his normal stride, so
Right.
we'll see what the issue is with him. That's the last thing the Brewers need. Ramirez on the disabled list already, and just getting Ryan Braun back, and Gomez coming out. We'll see what it is.
Pedro Alvarez leading off the 6th. Alvarez bounced back to the pitcher and then walked in the 4th inning. Estrada with 7 strikeouts through the first 5. Marco's season high, and at least in terms of strikeouts, is 9. That was against the Cubs on April 26th. See that pitch count getting up there, though.
Interesting that Ron Reddick throws Herrera out and left. He's got Chris Davis on the bench.
They're not messing around, getting Elian Herrera right into it. Swung on and missed, and then there is strikeout number 8.
There's a good changeup from Marco.
On that, on the pickoff attempt, and that Chris Stewart was trying to
getting up a
throw him
little,
out. Yep.
Yeah, a little gingerly, and not sure what he did, but he's got a poker face, doesn't he?
He does. And then here's what I was talking about again, just kind of saying what I saw.
Yeah, right there. You can tell that it's not the normal Carlos Gomez run.
Yeah, what specifically, I'm not going to guess, but just didn't look like that Gomez would open it up the way he can. So we'll see. We'll find out. Here's Jose Tabata. Well hit and just beyond the reach of Gene Segura, and a base hit for Tabata. As promised earlier in the broadcast, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag WizFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. And there you have it.
Where's that? Spring
training?
Yeah.
Must
Okay.
be. Yeah. Bright, sunny spring day.
Maryvale. Yeah.
Ike Davis with 1 out and 1 on. Broken bat, and it's Segura tapping the bag. 1 on at first, and that's a double play. 6-3, Gene Segura. Positioned perfectly per usual. The Brewers maintain a 1-run lead. For the 6th inning here at Miller Park. Here's tonight's Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery, courtesy of Jonathan Lucroy. 2nd inning.
All right, look how quick that release. I mean, he gets himself in position to throw. Looked like a botched hit and run. As Tampa didn't have a very good jump. He looked in as if he didn't make contact. I'm dead at second base.
Good work it was from Lucroy. Lyle Overbay struck out a couple of times tonight.
A lot of off-speed pitches by Garrett Cole to Overbay tonight. Tons of them.
Bringing the heat there at 95. 1-2 the count. Cole has struck out 6. We have a couple of walks in the 5th inning. Brewers had the bases loaded, but got Mark Reynolds to bounce back to the mound. This is hit in the air to left. Jose Tabata toward the line. 1 out. The word on Carlos Gomez, lower back tightness. That's what has him out and Leon Herrera in. So we update you on that as Gene Segura strolls to the plate. Couple of ground outs tonight for Segura.
Well, this early in the season, when you have a guy that, like Gomez, that plays at such a high level and throws himself around. I mean, this early in the year, he's got a little issue like that. Just take him out, sit him down, and make sure that he's not going to hurt it any further. That's a pretty healthy hack by Gene Segura. Guys aren't afraid to let him fly these days, are they?
No, and hitters beyond Gomez, and that's well struck. That's going to be a gap shot left center field. And Gene Segura with a double. Swing hard, hit it hard.
And he turned around a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, two-seamer, right down the middle, down in the strike zone. A little bit easier to get that pitch when it's down than it is when it's up, especially at that velocity, and he nails it right off the base of the fence.
Double number 5 on the year for Segura, and here's Logan Schaefer. You see Logan's night. As he has moved from left to center here in this game. Now Segura is ready to run.
Needs a thumb guard for when he slides head first. That's the other responsibility of the first base coach. You got to carry all the apparatus.
Garth Orge is on top of it.
Yep, got in his back pocket for when he's at first.
There he is.
They give him the shin guards when they get at first base. Those the little shin guard, the leg guards for when they foul pitches off. One of the many responsibilities of Garth Orge, first base coach.
1-0 to Schaefer. Well, I thought we might see some pretty good pitching tonight. Both have had to work through some things. 2-1 ball game in the 6th. There's Ricky Weeks waiting on deck. Into the night for Marco Estrada.
Haven't been too many games this year where we haven't seen good pitching.
No, we haven't.
I mean, for the Brewers, against the Brewers, it's all been pretty good so far this year. And that bears out when you look at the statistics. It's not just Brewers games.
It's happening almost all over. Almost.
Yeah. Except in Rockies games.
Then you'll see a lot of offense.
And the Rockies have a team batting average 40 points higher than the closest team. The Rockies are hitting over 300. Hard to believe.
Yeah, it's
next closest the Marlins at 260.
It's that gap you were talking about last week from first to worst. It is huge. 3-1 to count to Logan Schaefer. The Rockies hitting 301, and you have the Padres at 224.
The difference between second and last is only, what is that, 36 points?
Yeah.
260 to 224.
Right. No, you're right. The gap, you throw Colorado out of the mix, and yeah, it's not like people are tearing it up offensively. As you mentioned a while ago, if you tuned in, there's only 3 teams with an ERA of over 4. Back to the box. And the play is at first, as moving over to third is Gene Segura. 2 men out here in the inning. Join Fox Sports Wisconsin and the Milwaukee Bucks for the Bucks Draft Lottery Viewing Party and Happy Hour on Thursday, May 20th at Evolution Milwaukee. Enjoy food and drink specials from 5 to 8 p.m. Prize drawings, including a chance to win tickets to the 2014 Bucks home opener. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com and click on the More tab for details. Ricky Weeks will pinch hit now as Marco Estrada's night is done. 6 innings, 6 hits, just 1 run. There's one of the Brewers' hot hitters right now, Ricky Weeks.
He steps up there hitting 318. He's been drawing his walks. 375 on base percentage.
I'd say that's pretty hot right there.
Yeah. 9 for 15. You bet.
He scored the game winner on Sunday. Well, that 2-out single in the 9th off the bat of Mark Reynolds. Two 2-0 to Weeks. Tough to catch up to that.
98 out of the strike zone, but down. I think he may be expanding the strike zone a little bit to try and drive in that run. Remember, it's not Gomez on deck, top of the order. Herrera came in for him.
Brewers have Gene Segura at third. And now a 3-1 count to Weeks. Long look in from Garrett Cole. Weeks has only seen Cole 4 times. 1 for 4 against him. Three and 2 to the pinch hitting Ricky Weeks. And a Ground ball to short. Diving Scott Mercer, but no play. Weeks infield single as Segura scores.
Man, Ricky Weeks able to get on top of a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and able to get it enough towards center field that Mercer couldn't make a play on it. Even if he catches the baseball, I don't think he's got a play on Weeks. He dropped it, trying to be quick over with the throw, and the one-out double comes around to score. How about Ricky? Another base hit.
Guy is hot. That guy. Now Elian Herrera, who was hitting all of .467 his last 10 games in Nashville. So comes up here on a little bit of a roll.
Well, he was swinging it pretty well here at the end of his time with the Brewers before he got sent down. Brewers have to feel fortunate against Cole tonight. 3 runs, 2 of them coming on a misjudged fly ball, essentially.
Yeah, off the bat of Lucroy, Josh Harrison playing deep, but got a very late break.
And then got a run on an infield single.
Yeah. Scratching out the runs here tonight. In the meantime, the only run that Marco Estrada gave up was in the first, the home run to Neil Walker.
Brewers' first hit with a man in scoring position tonight, coming from Ricky Weeks. So right now, Marco the pitcher of record.
Good night's work for him. Not always easy, but he's kept the Pirates in check. Those pitches that Cole has needed in a game this year, 108. First outing against the Cardinals. First outing of the year. At 107 his last start against the Giants last Wednesday in Pittsburgh.
He's only really had one subpar outing. I mean, that came at Cincinnati back in mid-April. 5 runs in 6 innings. Other than that, he's been pretty solid.
Yeah, a couple of back-to-back 1-run outings, including against the Brewers. Followed that up, giving up just a run in 7 innings of work at St. Louis.
And I say subpar because 5 runs in 6 innings isn't horrible.
No, he had one start before the Giants against the Blue Jays. 5 innings, gave up 4. But no, it's not like he's been knocked all around the yard.
No.
Weeks has not stolen a base this season.
Stewart pretty good behind home plate. Ricky not running like he used to. If he's going to run, this is a pretty good pitch to run on. 2-1.
Runner holds. The pitch is outside.
This might be the end of the line for Cole right here. If he doesn't get Herrera.
Here's the 3-1. Weeks is moving, and this is swung on, and that will fall. Base hit to center. Weeks on his way to third. The Brewers have him on the corners.
He stays high. Got a 3-1 fastball, dumped it into center. Ricky running on the pitch. Scooter Gennett coming up. There it is. Cole forced to throw the fastball on the 3-1 count. Ricky running on the pitch, and he's able to get into third base easily. So the Brewers have now out-hit the Pirates 7-6 with 3 hits in this inning.
Glenn Hurdle on his way to the mound. A run in, threatening for more. Pitching change here at Miller Park. With the Brewers leading 3-1.
Business again here in the 6th inning. Hey, voting for the 2014 All-Star Game is officially underway. Vote early, vote often, and vote Brewers to send your hometown stars to Target Field in Minneapolis this July. Visit Brewers.com to cast your vote.
New pitcher here for the Pirates, Justin Wilson, is on.
Having a tough time concentrating on Wilson. I'm looking at that Brewers on deck circle.
Yeah. We'll fill you in here after this pitch. Scooter Gennett. Moving on deck is Chris Davis. Ryan Braun, the scheduled hitter.
Done for the night, apparently.
That with a couple of hits tonight, rolls one to second, and a play over at first, and the inning is over. Brewers get a run. We're through 6, 3-1. The Crew. Brought to you by Toyota in the first inning. Neil Walker off Marco Estrada with this home run, his 8th of the year. Gave the Pirates the early lead, but Brewers battle back. Jonathan Lucroy with his 2-run single. Josh Harrison playing deep, getting a late break. Logan Schaefer and Carlos Gomez able to score. Brewers adding a run in the bottom of the 6th inning. And here's your story. 3-7-0 for the Brewers. 1-6-0 for the Pirates. Marco Estrada, 6 innings, 6 hits, just the 1 run. Garrett Cole labored through 5 2/3. A couple of changes again as Elian Herrera will stay in the game. He'll play right field for the Crew as Chris Davis enters to play left. So Ryan Braun's night is done. And the new pitcher on the mound is Brandon Kinsler.
Yeah, pitched on Sunday against the Yankees and tossed a scoreless 6th inning. It did go up a hit, but no runs. Was on the 15-day DL with a strained right rotator cuff. Was unscored upon prior to going onto the disabled list, but has struggled since coming off. But a good sign last time out on Sunday, a scoreless inning.
Yeah, that was big. Jordy Mercer will lead off. Came in swinging a pretty good bat, and the Brewers have yet to get him out tonight. He walked his last trip. And there's a bloop that will drop into right, and there's hit number 2 tonight for Jordy Mercer. The Pirates get their leadoff runner aboard.
Check it out. You know, pitch up in the strike zone. That's not where Brandon Kinsler wants it. I mean, that good sinker, when he gets on top of it, going to be down around the knees. That's when he gets his ground balls. He's been leaving pitches up in the zone since coming off the disabled list. And that's when he gives up hits.
Here's Chris Stewart. Lays down a bunt, charging is Reynolds. Bare hands, throws. Nice play.
Wow.
That was tough. They get the out as Mercer advances.
Well, they give him a sacrifice, but he was bunting for a base hit. You don't ordinarily sacrifice bunt. You know, down by a couple of runs. And what a play by Reynolds, playing behind the bag. Watch him come in. Spreads those hands apart, those fingers apart, and able to make a nice throw and a good pick by Overbay. Degree of difficulty on that throw, very high.
Here's Travis Snyder. And he does not get the warmest of welcomes. Part of that rumble on Easter Sunday. First pitch swinging, a fly ball down the line and left. Over there is Chris Davis. And he'll make the catch up against the sidewall. 2 men out.
That makes it easy. 1 pitch, 1 out, 1 out.
Jordy Mercer, the runner at second. 2 outs in the 7th. Now Brandon Kinsler will face Josh Harrison. He has a couple of hits tonight. He's now 6 for his last 10 against the Brewers. You go back to the 4-game series in Pittsburgh, had a couple of pinch hit performances. A couple of pinch hits was what he had. He was successful coming off the bench. A 2-run homer in that series at PNC Park.
Yeah, there's the Kinsler sinker right there. That's where you want it. That's the one that is virtually unhittable when he gets it down in that location. Gets on top of it, the fingers on top of the baseball, and look at that movement going down and in. That's the Kinsler fastball right there.
And there's a ground ball to Jeanette. Kinsler with another effective inning here for the Brewers. Leadoff single, nothing more. Brewers still up 3-1. Inning. Time now for our Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game. Ricky Weeks delivers again. Pinch hitting roll. This infield single. Bringing home Gene Segura, giving the home team a little bit of cushion here. 3-1 the count. Ricky Weeks continues to swing a hot bat. Travis Snyder staying the game for the Pirates, playing right field. And on the mound for Pittsburgh, third pitcher of the evening, and it's Jared Hughes.
Now you can see the numbers for Hughes. Outstanding. Only his 8th appearance, a 2-1 record. The earned run average a little bit over 1. Has not allowed a home run. And Hughes picked up his 2nd win of the year. That was on Saturday.
Took care of his business on Sunday night in relief, tiring the Cardinals. 1-2-3. Chris Davis rips a single to left. Davis in for Ryan Braun, and this starts the bottom of the 7th with a base hit.
And not messing around. You can see the arm angle for Hughes, and that one ended up middle in. I mean, that's exactly where Chris Davis likes it. He likes it up, he likes it in, and he hit it hard.
That was hit number 8 for the Brewers tonight. There's Jonathan Lucroy. Wendy's at the plate. Fly ball to right in the first, but a 2-run single that right now is the difference in the game. Also walked in the 5th. Brewers getting a couple of runs in the 3rd inning after the Pirates had the early lead. Lucroy at the moment hitting .307. Jared Hughes, a 4th-round pick back in the 2006 draft by the Pirates. Brock mentioned putting up some pretty serious numbers in relief so far this season. Pirates bullpen collectively has been pretty good. Ranks 4th in the National League in ERA at 2.74.
But they're without their closer, which can create some problems for any bullpen.
Yeah, Jason Grilli, Mark Melanson is handling that role now, which he did for a chunk of last year. Lucroy with a bouncer to third. It gets by Alvarez and down the line. Chris Davis on his way to third, and the Brewers have him on the corners. Nobody out in the 7th.
Yeah, Luke just continues to hit right down that left field line, and he talked about the problems that Alvarez has had defensively. That wasn't his fault, but then he knocks it down. It's 1st and 2nd. As it stands, it's 1st and 3rd. Playing behind the bag, and Davis able to get into third base. Close calls down that line tonight.
Well, sure have. Big chance here for the Brewers. Big chance to get a little more space. It's like one loss that Hughes took was to the Giants last week. In relief, pitched an inning and gave up a run, walked a couple. Last couple of outings, both against the Cardinals, he kept them off the board.
And not exactly what the holdup is here, but the Pirate defense looking into the dugout for a play. They've got the infield in. Feel as though they can't fall behind any further with this very good Brewers bullpen.
Reynolds takes ball 1. Back-to-back hits here for the Brewers in the bottom of the 7th. Popped out of play. Mark looking for his first hit tonight. Strikeout and a couple of ground balls, including one back to the mound with the bases loaded in the 5th.
And not often you're going to see the infield in this situation, but that kind of tells you what Clint Hurdle thinks about the Brewers pitching staff. Already down by 2, feels as though he can't play for the double play. And you really open yourself up for a big inning when you do this, but that's the risk you have to take.
Yeah, showing a lot of respect, this Brewer pen. The Pirates, as we mentioned, a team that's been hitting the ball well this month through the first couple of weeks of it. Managed only 1 run off of Marco Estrada, and Brandon Kinsler did his job in the 7th. There's a fly ball to center. McCutchen. And Chris Davis will tag. He's heading home, and he'll score easily. And it's a 4-1 lead for the Brewers. And that's your Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game. Gives the Brewers now a 3-run lead. The sac fly as Davis is in, and the Brewers lead it 4-1.
Another RBI from Mark Reynolds. Just making contact. They call those the cheap RBIs, but they're anything but. Man at third, less than 2. You don't need a base hit. Extends the lead.
Mark Reynolds does his job. Lucroy the runner at first, and here's Lyle Overbay. Back to the box, but it goes off the glove of Hughes, and the play at first is in time.
That's going to be reviewed, I got to believe. And Ron Reddy's going to go out. 7th inning, he can ask for a review. Boy, that's about as close as it gets.
That's very close.
Dan Iassogna over there at first base. That's pretty much bang bang, and remember the call is out.
Yeah, that's razor's edge whether Overbay beat the throw, but they are going to review.
I don't even want to speculate as to what that's going to be. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the guy in New York having to make that call.
No, that is right on the edge.
Clear and convincing evidence to overturn.
Yeah, the fact that we're saying right on the edge maybe doesn't bode well, but let's find out.
It's not when the ball closes the glove or the glove closes around the baseball. It's when the baseball makes contact with the leather. So let's see. There, I'll tell you right there, it looks safe. I mean, by just a smidgen. I don't know.
They will look it over in New York as Dale Scott, the crew chief, as well as the home plate umpire tonight, will get the word. And we will find out together how this review will turn out. It's a 4-1 game at the moment with the Brewers out in front. And also at the moment there would be 2 men out and Lucroy the runner at second, but we're reviewing whether we would change that to 1 out and Overbay on at first.
Well, you can see why this was taking so long. I mean, it was so close. They're showing it on the scoreboard, and Brewers fans are saying he's safe. Hired fans in Pittsburgh think he's out.
Yeah, this one a little longer than what we've seen for the most part this season. It's been pretty quick, with maybe one exception, 1 or 2, but it's been pretty efficient.
It's an important call because Overbay looking to get a base hit here. And to continue this Brewers inning.
Yeah, a chance to maybe bust this thing open a little bit.
That's
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck to you in New York with that one.
You need that clear evidence that Lyle Overbay beat the throw. And the guys in New York continue to look at it. Brewers with a run here in the 7th. Mentioned earlier tonight, checking the National League Central, Reds lost to the Padres 2-1. Cubs lead the Cardinals 2-1. They're in the bottom of the 6th in St. Louis. The Milwaukee Brewers, a team that has, with the exception of last year, the last several years has just dominated the Pirates, leading here tonight 4-1. The Brewers since 2007 have beaten Pittsburgh 82 times and have lost just 37. Those 82 wins, the most by any one team in the National League over another.
It's amazing.
And he is out at first. I think that would go under the category of call stands.
Yeah, I mean, not clear convincing evidence. I can't blame the umpires for that call. Doesn't get tougher than that.
Worth it though.
Yeah, but you can't blame Ron Renicky.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Here's Gene Segura. Lucroy the runner at second. Segura double his last trip. A little longer than normal review there. 3 minutes 35 seconds. I've still seen longer.
Yeah.
My day job.
Not in this sport, though.
No, not. You're right about that. So throw over to second, and Lucroy able to get back. Jared Hughes out there for the Pirates.
Man, Lucroy has had a huge lead off of second base and just barely able to get back.
That goes off of Hughes, and that's going to dribble into right field. A base hit. Here comes Lucroy, and the Brewers now lead it 5-1. The throw gets away from Stewart. Segura to second.
How about the way the Brewers have scored runs in this game? You have to call that an infield hit, right?
I would think so, yes.
Off the pitcher, over to Davis. Lucroy never slowed down around third base. He scores easily. So they score on 2 infield hits. A bad play out in right field on a routine fly and a sacrifice fly. Doing the little things right, the Pirates have not.
A single and an error charge to Ike Davis, allowing Segura to move to second. Now they'll intentionally walk Logan Schaefer. So there you have it. One scoring single for Segura. The Brewers now with a 4-run lead. You're right, Bill. We've seen the Brewers, even in the stretch here where they haven't scored a lot of runs, we've seen the long ball, and they haven't needed the home run shot here tonight. They're scratching it out.
And that's what they do. They figure out ways to score just enough to win, but pitching and defense keeps them in it. Hey, Friday, May 30th is a Time Warner Cable Customer Appreciation Game. Bring last month's Time Warner Cable statement to the Miller Park box office for a buy one, get one free Terrace ticket offer.
Jeff Bianchi will come in to pinch hit.
Brewers running out of players. Martin Maldonado, the last man standing in that bench.
Yep. Herrera and Weeks off the bench, still in the game. or Davis rather. Davis and Herrera. We've seen Weeks pinch hit. Now Jeff Bianchi.
I was thinking about Ryan Braun being taken out. There has not been any type of announcement as to an injury. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe it was scheduled. He hadn't played in 2 weeks, and maybe he was just supposed to play 6 innings and then kind of sit out, ease him back in. At least that's what you can only hope.
Yeah, that's definitely what all Brewer fans are hoping for here.
Ordinarily, it would be an announcement at this point, at least by now, as to the situation with Braun. If it was an injury, if you're just taken out, they're not going to make that announcement. Fingers are crossed.
Right there with you. 0-2 the count to Bianchi. And he held up. Two-run 7th here for the Brewers. So create a little bit of space now. Tough inning for Jared Hughes. That is ripped but foul. Here's the 1-2. Brewers have won 6 of the first 7 against the Pirates. Swept them here. Won 3 out of 4 at Pittsburgh and leading here in the first of 3 of this series tonight. Fly ball to center. McCutchen. And that'll do it for the Brewers, but a good 7th inning as they pick up a couple of more runs. We're through 7. 5-1 the Brewers. Inning at Miller Park, and here's a look at what's on tap presented by Miller Lite. Right back here tomorrow. Game 2 of this series. Francisco Liriano still in search of his first win. Willie Peralta would like to keep Liriano searching. Really 4-2 with a 2.17 ERA. We'll get things started with Brewers Live beginning tomorrow night at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Yeah, talk about an all-star start to a season, huh? Willie Peralta.
Goodness. Serious ERA. Speaking of good ERAs, here's Will Smith.
Yeah, as if he barely has one. A .52 earned run average And for Smith, 21st appearance. And look at the strikeouts. 25 punch-outs in 17 in the third innings. And an opponent batting average at a minuscule 150.
Brandon Kinsler doing a nice job in the 7th inning. Gave up just 1 hit, but no harm done.
Another scoreless inning for Will Smith on Sunday against the Yankees. A scoreless 8th in a Brewers victory.
He had a couple of scoreless outings against the Yankees. 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Pirates lineup. Neil Walker, he represents the 1 run the Pirates have tonight. Solo homer in the first. Popped out a couple of times since. Smith starts Walker with a strike.
And this is the way you want to face Neil Walker. You lose a lot of his power. He's still a pretty good hitter from the right side, but most of his power comes as a left-handed batter. You know, Walker the switch hitter, McCutchen, and the left-hander Alvarez, and you match up Will Smith against a couple of lefties, although he's pretty good against right-handers too.
Fly ball, but foul down the left field line. Yeah, this is just the 24th at bat this season for Walker from the right side. For about 1/6 the total of his left-handed at bats. One of his now 8 homers this season have come from the right side of the plate. Mentioned last year he had 16 homers. That's the most by a Pirates second baseman since Bill Mazeroski. He strikes out swinging. Will Smith with a punch out to begin the 8th inning.
94 miles an hour with the fastball. We talked about it Sunday. It looks like it seems as though his fastball's got more velocity on it now than it did in the beginning of the season. Down and in, and Walker way behind it. He threw a fastball against the Yankees at 95 on Sunday.
A lot of pop. Strikeout number 9 for Brewers pitching. Estrada had 8 through 6 innings. Andrew McCutchen struck out a couple of times tonight. McCutchen coming in, one of the hotter hitters in the National League the last couple of weeks. 410 in the month of May, but 0 for 3 tonight.
You want to whisper when you say that about McCutchen.
Yes.
Hit us with a couple of punch outs because that's not going to last.
Yeah, he can get noisy in a hurry.
And we've seen it.
There's a ground ball to Segura. And unable to scoop it is Overbay. So McCutchen is aboard.
It'll be an E6 on Gene Segura. Relatively routine play, and gets rid of it quickly because McCutchen gets down that line pretty good, and Overbay not able to pick it. That's one that Lyle's normally going to be able to keep in the glove and save an error.
There's the first error of the night for the Brewers. Pedro Alvarez settles in. Always a threat to go deep. It's Pedro Alvarez. 1-0 to the third baseman.
And just a nasty breaking pitch from Will Smith. He's got two different ones. He's got the big breaker, and then this one, a slider that he throws to the lefties. That one up but off the plate, and Alvarez tried to pull it.
Out in front, 1-2.
Another slider. Missed with the fastball, 1-0, then two sliders to get ahead.
Little tapper. Smith goes to second once. Segura, nice job keeping the foot on the bag. That's all they'll get. They won't turn it. As they get the force of McCutchen, there are two men out.
Yeah, good throw. They probably turned to double play. You know, Segura's timing a bit thrown off by the errant throw. Kind of an unusual way for Segura. Keeps the toe in the bag, but you see his momentum going away from first base. Takes him a little bit longer to get rid of it. That's what cost him the double play.
Let's check in with Sophia.
Well, over the weekend, Ron Renneke talking about the versatility of both of his left-handers, Zach Duke and Will Smith, saying he trusts both of them, not just against lefties, but righties as well. As Duke, a starter for 8 seasons, he certainly knows how to get it done against righties. And for Smith, that slider has been his strikeout pitch. So he said certainly this has been one of his most versatile and deepest bullpens in his time here in Milwaukee.
Awfully good bullpen for this Brewers team.
And you have one guy out there in Wei Chung Wong that they really don't want to use in tough situations. He's only had a handful of appearances. So basically playing one short in that bullpen. And still they've been able to do a bang-up job. Outstanding work. Every one of them.
Jose Tabata with a bouncing ball by a diving Segura. And the Pirates have runners at first and second with 2 out. He's hit for Jose Tabata.
They had him play the pull. He hit it up the middle, beat the shift, and the inning continues for Pittsburgh.
See another pinch hitter for the Pirates. As you see, Segura missed by just a couple inches. Rick Granite's on his way to the mound. Good conversation with Will Smith, Jonathan Lucroy.
Scouting report on Gabby Sanchez. He's got 3 home runs this year.
He's somebody who's hit well on the road. 345 in the 9 road games he's appeared in. See his numbers on the year. So the Pirates with runners at first and second. 2 men out of the top of the 8th. Sanchez steps in for Ike Davis.
Sanchez with good power, particularly to the opposite field. Very patient hitter. Pitcher doesn't put it right where he's looking early in the count. He's not swinging.
That is hit well to left. Back goes Davis, and that bangs off the wall. A run will score. It'll be a double for Sanchez, and it's a 5-2 game. As the Pirates pull within 3 as Alvarez comes around to score.
Man, a base hit scores a couple of more, perhaps, and Pirates are going to be right back in this ball game. Got behind in the count, 2-0. He threw the fastball. He got it right down the middle of the plate. Look at the Sanchez swing. Gets on top of it and didn't miss a home run by too much. Right at the top of the wall. That would have been interesting had that one got up a little bit higher. Alvarez scores. So that run is unearned due to the Segura error.
Here's Jordy Mercer, who is 2 for 2 with a walk. That overall average is low, but he has brought that up quite a bit here recently. There's a bouncing ball to Segura. And a play at first, inning over. Pirates pick up a run, but they lead 2. Bottom of the 8th we go. Brewers lead it 5-2.
Two lead for Milwaukee over Pittsburgh as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Our Subway in-game box score looks like this right now. Not the familiar names that you're used to seeing. Gomez and Braun did start today's game, but they left midway through. And right now, this Brewer team with Ramirez going on the DL right now, becoming rather depleted, but still winning.
I'll tell you what, you got to hand it to him. You know, it takes 25 guys to help, and everybody's got to chip in. And what you're seeing out of this Brewer ball club is a resiliency. Everybody going in and doing what they have to do to help this ball club win.
All right, Jerry and I are getting set for Brewers Live postgame on the way. We'll hear from the manager, see what's going inside that clubhouse as well when we come back after the ball game.
All right, Craig Augie, thank you very much. Gabby Sanchez stays in the game. And he'll be playing first base as Elian Herrera, who came in the 6th and had a base hit. Brought up from Nashville, Caleb Gindel. Sent to AAA. Is Elian Herrera getting right into the mix?
Didn't take him long to get on the hit column, did it?
It did not.
First at bat.
It's a hot hitter down at AAA and carrying that over at least his first at bat here tonight for the big club. And he keeps it going. Herrera 2 for 2.
Yeah, this time on a 0-2 pitch. He would like to get that run back.
Elian Herrera leads off the 8th with a single. Well, Scooter Gennett has had a good night again. Jared Hughes, his second inning of work here for the Pirates. Herrera's going. Pitch is taken. Throw down to second, and he is out.
Yeah, that's a nice throw. Wow. It's right on the money.
Chris Stewart can get it down there.
I mean, just a very quick release. Check it out. Watch his footwork. Footwork starts before the pitch is in his glove, and a nice pick by Jordy Mercer to get the out. Yep, straddling the bag, and Herrera slides right into the tag.
Stewart had a knack for throwing out runners last year with the Yankees. Scooter Gennett, a ground ball to Neil Walker. 2 outs in the 8th. Chris Davis will stroll to the plate. He singled. Came around to score in the 7th inning. As Augie was saying, it takes all 25, and the makeup of that 25 of this Brewers team can change on maybe not a daily basis, but a rather frequent basis. And they've continued to make it work without their big thumpers out there.
All right, just scrapping away and getting the job done. But again, what has been the consistent part of the game?
Yeah, pitching.
Pitching and the defense has been solid. 2nd in the National League in fielding percentage, and 4th in team earned run average. That gives you an opportunity to win games late. You don't have to score a lot of runs to win.
And that's been the formula for this team. It more often than not, if not a lot of runs, they've had timely runs, timely hits, key situations. Davis rips one to left, and that could be extra bases, or it most certainly will be. And a double for Davis, who has come off the bench and has a couple of hits tonight.
Bench players having a pretty good night. 5 hits tonight. Ricky Weeks, Herrera with a couple, now Davis with a couple of hits. That's pretty good bench work.
That's real good bench work.
And a 2-out double for Chris.
Jonathan Lucroy coming to the plate as Davis standing at second with a 2-out double. A good night's work at the plate, as well as behind it for Jonathan Lucroy. And a little bloop, and Walker runs it down, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the 8th. Well, it's K-Rod time at Miller Park. Looking to nail down yet another save for the Brewers. We move to the 9th. Brewers 5 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 2. The Pirates, we move to the 9th inning here in Milwaukee. If it's the 9th inning and the Brewers are in this type of a situation, it's Francisco Rodriguez time as he enters the game. You look at the Columbia St. Mary's save tracker, 15 for Francisco Rodriguez, 15 for 16 as the streak finally ended. As Mark Teixeira, 2 outs in the 9th, did this to tie the game. It's okay, didn't get the save, but Brewers went on to win. So got the win. So it's all good.
Didn't need any more saves. Wanted to pick up a win.
That's right.
21st game for K-Rod here tonight, and finally with an earned run average of .45, first run that he's allowed this year. Outstanding numbers, and yeah, that's an understatement. 20 strikeouts, only 4 walks, and 20 innings of work.
And he'll face Chris Stewart. And Rodriguez starts here with a strike.
Yeah, the home run that he gave up to Teixeira was a 3-2 changeup. That wasn't a bad pitch.
No, he
went down and got it, hooked it. That's how strong Teixeira is, and tied the ball game.
Well, it just set the stage for the Brewers to win in a way that they had not won this year on a walk-off. Won pretty much every other way.
Right.
Rallies on the road, extra inning games. 0-2 to Chris Stewart. Just got a piece. Stewart, his last at bat, goes into the books as a sacrifice bunt, trying to lay one down the third baseline. It was a good play by Mark Reynolds, charging hard, bare hand scoop, and able to get the out at first. Brewers trying to nail down win number 25.
And their 3rd in a row.
Yeah, they dropped the first game of that series with the Yankees on Friday, came back to win Saturday and Sunday. Meantime, the top of the 8th in St. Louis. Cardinals lead the Cubs now 3-2. Brewers start the night 5.5 games ahead of St. Louis in the NL Central. Here comes the 2-2 to Chris Stewart.
They started him out with a couple of fastballs, got ahead 0-2, trying to put him away with the changeups, and Stewart's hanging tough.
Rodriguez with 319 career saves. 15 of them this season. .319 for K-Rod has him tied for 16th all-time with Todd Jones. Jose Mesa is next in line. He has .321. Again, the 2-2. Bouncing ball over the mound. Jeanette charging. Nicely done. One out.
And that's a nice pickup right there. A little tricky hop right at the end. Jeanette shaded up the middle just a little bit and able to make the play. Yep, over the head of K-Rod. Watch this hop right here. Boom, got it and made a nice throw to first. Got him on a changeup that time. His bread and butter.
Now Rodriguez will face Travis Snyder. Snyder just served his suspension Friday and Saturday, last Friday and Saturday, going back to that Easter Sunday fight in Pittsburgh. He's in the lineup on Sunday for the Pirates, hitting leadoff. They've shuffled that leadoff spot around here with the Pirates of late. He's come off the bench tonight, pinch hitting role in the 7th, and has stayed in the game.
Well, certainly one of the guys that escalated that whole situation out in Pittsburgh. He, Russell Martin, I guess you would say Maldonado would be included in that list.
And Martin served his penalty. Russell Martin still has a 1-game suspension that he has to serve when he's available to play. He's been on the DL. We continue to wait the verdict on the appeal from Carlos Gomez. We had the appeal heard on Friday via teleconference, video conference, I should say.
I'm not sure what they're waiting on, but Ron Rendy's going to keep his center fielder in the lineup as long as he can.
Three and 1 the count. Last year, Snyder was used a ton in a pinch hitting role. 44 pinch hit at bats. Homered 3 times. Here's the 3-2. In the air to left. Chris Davis, 2 men out.
Hey, notice K-Rod going with fastballs right down the middle of the plate. Got behind 3-1. You don't mess around until that tying run comes to home plate. And Snyder with his second fly out to left.
2 outs in the 9th for the Pirates. Jeff Decker will come in to pinch hit. This will be his second at bat with the Pirates.
And it's not Jeff, right? It's Jaff.
Jaff. J-A-F-F.
I like it.
Came over from the Padres last November. Swing and a miss. Spent most of last year to Decker in AAA, the Padres system. 13 games with the big club a year ago.
Very effective pitch to a young hitter. That changeup.
One and 2 to Jeff Decker. The base is empty and 2 outs in the 9th.
This is where you want to end it. You don't want to mess around with the guys coming up.
Here you have Walker, McCutchen, Alvarez, you want to save the drama. There's Walker on deck. There it is. Game over. Francisco Rodriguez with his 16th save of the year, 320 now in his career, as the Brewers make it 3 in a row.
Just an outstanding effort by everybody involved. You know, Marco Estrada didn't have his great stuff, but he gutted it out through 5 innings. Or actually 6 innings for Estrada. Bench very good with 5 hits, 5 for 6 off the bench for Milwaukee, and able to be very opportunistic. Ricky Weeks, another big RBI tonight.
Jonathan Lucroy and company getting the job done as the Brewers improve their record to 25-14. 5-2 your final as the Brewers take the first game of this series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's send it down to Craig Deshawn and Jerry Augustine standing by with Brewers Live postgame.
All right, how about that? Great way to start the series for the Brew Crew. We'll catch up with Marco Estrada inside that clubhouse when we come back. Also, Ron Reinecke on the way. Brewers Live is next.